All right, all right. Let's see if this thing is doing the thing. Cool. All right. Yeah, we're here. Ad starting soon. I just started streaming. What do you mean ad started soon? What are you doing, Restream? Or not Restream, YouTube. Perfect. All right, let me get set up here. Yeah, perfect. I guess I can't snap the window that way. Oh, Windows, you're killing me lately. You're making me hate you. But it's okay. I don't hate you yet. Oh, you're just making me get there. Why can't I snap this window down? That's so stupid. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Hello, everyone. We're gonna do some. I'm kind of chilling tonight. I want to test like this streaming, kind of the streaming setup. I was gonna do some Kubernetes things too, and I'll probably just like kind of hack at that a little bit. But I like reworked the setup a little bit. I'm thinking very hello. What's up? I'm thinking very difficultly, I'm thinking very hard about selling some of my computers and like consolidating a bit, primarily to like deal with my work like needs and my personal needs, because I do like this content creation. So I'm like recording and I have peripherals, right? I have lights, I have a camera, I have capture cards, I have things to use. And Linux doesn't really support that well because I was on Linux for a while and I love it for development, but it doesn't support it well for peripherals and stuff unless you want to like give yourself a headache trying to get your capture card to work, trying to get video editing to work, trying to get all this stuff to work. It makes your head spin. So then there's that avenue. So I'm gonna rant a little bit about my setup. Then there's a work side. Linux for work is amazing. Developing with Linux is fantastic. Everyone's happy. But I travel and I travel frequently. And I don't just mean travel on like for conferences or an airplane or whatever. I mean like not sitting here at this beautiful desk, but I work, right? Like I'll go to my parents' house or go somewhere else, or even go on a trip and go to the airport. And taking the framework laptop around, it's great, but the battery life sucks. So yeah, I'm just rethinking my whole setup here. And what kind of got me to this point was I was working on my framework laptop at my parents' house, and one of my coworkers was like, "Your mic sounds so bad," and I was like, "Yes, yes, it does." And I went back and listened to the recording, and it was extremely bad because I wasn't home and I didn't have this mic, and I had the framework mic, and I was like, "Damn, is this what it's like when I take like customer calls with this machine?" So I got a little embarrassed, I guess, and I'm rethinking that setup. And then I took my wife's MacBook. She has like a MacBook 16, like a MacBook Pro 16, and I compiled like one of our repos at work on her machine and on my beefy ass computer here that's sitting next to me that I'm streaming from, this Windows machine. And her laptop was like 30 seconds slower of compiling than my big ass desktop here. And I was like, okay, that's not fair. So yeah, I'm just rethinking my whole setup here, but that's not what I am going to talk about the whole time. I do want to show, I do want to kind of just hack at some Kubernetes things that I'm looking at. So I'll share proper screen. But yeah, hello, Fernando and Ian. Cool. Yeah, I think I was just looking at some Talos stuff, right? That's what I was doing. I don't remember what I was doing. Yeah, I wanted to get Talos. I have it running on Oxide VMs, but I wanted to make this better. Hold on. Let me see where I was with this. Yeah, I was here, right? Yes. Okay. And what is this actually even running? I want to like spin up. I have my home lab running right there in some on-prem hardware that's here in my house. I want to move all of that to Oxide, and I want to see like what that architecture would look like. What is this even doing? Can't even type today. Yeah, this is doing nothing, and it's running Flannel. Okay, so I do want to install Talos on Oxide again, like I do, but I want it to be a larger cluster. And I totally forgot what. Oh, I did like a dual. I'm kind of relearning what I did and I wrote down before and I walked away from. Oxide seems pretty cool. Yes, I love Oxide. It's a very fun place to work. And as you can see, like I have access to a bunch of hardware and I can like run things on it. And I'm running like 2 Kubernetes clusters here. I spun up this Arch Linux dev machine that I was testing out earlier as part of my whole rant against what do I want to do with my workstation. I spun up a big VM and I was like, hey, how does the code compile on this thing? And it was pretty good. But I don't know if I could work on a remote VM all day. I'm not sure. Okay. I don't remember. What did I do here actually? What did I have? Oh yeah, okay. I'm relearning what I did here. I did all control plane nodes and worker nodes. Yeah, that's what I did. Right? If I look at these nodes, describe this node. Yeah. You are a control plane node and you should have no taints because you're also a worker node. Cool. All right. So I don't want to do that, obviously. I want to do like dedicated control plane, dedicated worker. Me notes these keys. I kid. Oh yeah, you can have those keys. Those get I regenerate this like this stuff you're talking about. Yeah. I regenerate these every time I deploy. So this is like my demo cluster that I spin up when I'm on like a call with like a prospect or someone that's like new to Oxide and I'm showing them like here's how you create an instance. I'll often spin up a couple like Kubernetes clusters and I do it all in Terraform. So I don't even know Oxide. It should be this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I don't even need that anymore. Okay, so I can like unset. I'll show. Yeah, see, I have a bunch of stuff here, and like I can kill it now. I don't really need it. This is like my demo Talos instance. So like all this is not gonna go away. So it don't matter if you have the the keys. I regenerate it every time anyway. But what I want to do is kind of like I don't want to create this 3-node control plane plus worker cluster. I'm working on like a cloud controller manager for Kubernetes for Oxide, and I want to create like 3-node control plane and maybe like 3 or 4 worker nodes. And I forgot how to do that in Talos. I do know it's like Talos config gen. And then I give it a name, right? Yeah. Okay. Or no, sorry. It tells gen config. Why would you have like config as a top level and then gen config? It's okay. I love you still. Yeah, give it a cluster name and a cluster endpoint. And that is, I'm telling the Oxide security team. Yeah, go ahead. Tell them. They'll probably laugh at me anyway. They'll be like, what is this guy doing? I don't recall install this, install image. I don't need any of this stuff, I don't think. I just need the cluster name. So let's just do like home lab. And then I need the cluster endpoint. And I think that, I guess I'll put that behind a DNS name. No? No. I guess what I'll do is Oxide any use for an average like me or enterprise stuff. It's gonna be mostly enterprise stuff. Like we're talking like 1,000 CPU cores on these things, plus 2,000 CPU cores on a fully loaded one. So you're talking like enterprise, high level compute things, like 2,000 cores, 32 terabytes of RAM, like 250, 300 terabytes of disk usable. That's after replication. So probably outside of your average Joe stuff. It's more on the enterprise side. Hit me, I am that team. Oh, it is you. Yes, I figured it was you, Ian. I didn't know if it says Ian N, so I just figured it was just you or not. Okay. I guess I should put the cluster endpoint behind. What did I do earlier? I don't remember what I did here. Yeah, I put this behind okay, so I guess what I really want to do first is grab one of these floating IPs. Let's see, Kate's endpoint. I'll grab this from this VPN because I'm on that. And I guess I can do that. See you later, man. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next week. All right. So for this, I have to think about my architecture here. I think it was Cali draw. Is this the one? Dope. Or is it TL draw or whatever? It doesn't really matter. The same thing. Cool. I think, this is like probably blinding everyone. I don't know where the mode is. System. I think, yes, good. What I want to do here is I kind of want, I want like, 3 control plane nodes. And then the Kubernetes API will be on 6443 on the floating IP. So FIP, I should be writing this down. And then this should all be in the same VPC and then like 5 worker nodes. That's fine because that floating IP will be dedicated to that. And then I'll have another floating IP. That feels right. Okay, let's go forward with that. So if this is my floating IP, that's all I need. So let's see what this does. Oh yeah, let me not. Yeah, let's just do this in here. Okay, and now I know that this. You can see the CR, the certs. It's fine. This is all gonna get blown away. Okay, so this is all for control plane. Worker is gonna be this. This should be fine actually. So what I really just need now what did I do before? I generated this. And I applied this on every node. So I think I just apply the control plane on the control plane nodes, apply the workers on the worker nodes. So I need nodes. So let's just do this simple thing and use Terraform for this. And I'm not sure where your website is showing a 520 error. Yeah, I'm sure it is because it's running here, right there in my home lab, and it's fronted by Cloudflare, and like my internet provider is not the best here. So it should be working though. Like, let me try off of Wi-Fi. It's weird sometimes. I don't know why sometimes that it's being silly, and I actually don't have the best cell service, so this probably won't load for me. Let me know if it still does though. It shouldn't have that problem. I mean, let's see. Let's go to this Oxide machine. Yeah, it's loading for me. It's just being silly. That's part of the reason why I want to move it here. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah. Cool. This is all loading. Let me know if it still does that for you. Yeah, part of the reason why I want to move it to the Oxide rack is because my home network is kind of not the best for this stuff. Let me get out of there. Yeah. Okay. Let's just do that. Oxide tf configs. All right, let's just do this. Yeah, we'll keep that in Colo. Keep that in the project. Keep that here. I will create a VPC. Yep. Actually, this is basically going to work for my needs, with the exception that I need. Let's do this. Control. That way we can like recognize these things. And then we'll do worker nodes. And this will be like WK. Yes, we'll do 3 and 3. Cool. So VPC flood, yeah, that's fine. They don't actually need external IPs. No, none of these need external IPs actually. Yeah, so we can get rid of this. They'll all be created in the same VPC. They'll all have a boot disk of 10 gigs, which is fine. I actually probably should upgrade this to 20 gigs. Do I even have Python installed on this machine? I don't think so. No, I don't actually have Python installed on this machine. Okay. I'll leave it at 10 gigs. Each instance is fine. And then this will be local control plane nodes. Yeah, so we'll do one for CPU, one for not. All right, put it in this project, put it with the source ID. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Create an instance. You don't need an external IP, but one of you will get the floating IP attached. That's fine. Nix. That's fine. And then it'll be control plane nodes. Yeah. All right, that looks pretty good. And for the firewall rules, same idea. We're going to allow Talos API inbound. Oh, wait, if I don't give it an external IP, I do need to give it an external IP in addition to the floating IP. Because if I don't, I won't be able to control these via Talos. and then I would need a jump box. Okay, I think that's fine. Excuse me. Yeah, I need to think about this more. That's fine though. We'll do it this way. All right, so I need this again, but I need this to be workers nodes, WK. And then this will be worker. My dog is out over there. Same project, same source image. That's all fine. This will be worker nodes as well. Worker nodes. Same project. Oxide disk hellos. Worker boot. Yep, that. All good, all good, all good. And then these need external IPs. Okay, this looks fine. And this could be Talos worker. And I think we have an error still. We have to do CP boot for these. CP boot. All right, that should kind of give me what I need. Oh, right. I was doing some dev before, so I can get rid of this. Oh yeah, I have some outputs that I don't need actually right now. This all can go away. Oh, did I type that? Oh yeah. Control plane knows. You're right. You're right, Terraform. Okay, this should be doing what I needed to do. Cool. So creating the disks. All right, now we're getting some instances created. We really need to create tags in Oxide because ideally I wouldn't even care about naming them differently. I would just name them the same and tag them. Cool. These are all going up. You should all be getting a ephemeral IP. Great. And ideally, I will attach the floating IP that I had to one of these. Yeah. Cool. All right, that works. Now these will be booting up. Dope. All right, that's doing what it needs to do. What I do need now, and actually what I should have done, I do actually need the external IPs. Hello CP, control. That's fine. And then I'll do the worker ones. Yeah, that looks good. And from there, I don't remember, man, when you like don't look at something for a while and you just kind of use it and not like actually look at how it's working, you really do like mess yourself up. Control plane external IPs. And this can just be same thing. Join, for instance, in data external IPs. Talos CP, give me the IP. And then this should be the same thing, but instead of control plane, it can be, it can be worker. Yeah, and worker. That should work. Apply. Oh no, that shouldn't. Oh, right, it's gonna remove my floating IP. Ah, I'm silly. I forgot about that. I can just tell it to attach the floating IP. I can't really do that for the first one though. That sucks. This is where the for each method really kind of is annoying. I could do like some bullshit. I could do like this type float. No, I can't do that. I'd have to do. Ah, it's so stupid. Okay, it's fine. Just let it be. Oops. You're stopped. Do you still have it attached? You're not even attached, right? Oh, you are attached. Why did you error then? Is that the floating IP ID? No, that's not even the floating IP ID. Oh, I think I see what happened. Ooh, that might be a bug in Terraform, the Terraform provider. Why are you trying to attach the floating IP, detach the floating IP of this? Hold up. This is why you use software, because you find bugs. I think it's V1. What is it? List external IPs? What is it? V1 instances, instance external IPs. V1 instances. This instance specifically. External IPs. Talk to me. Oh, that's a bug. It's using this ID, is it not? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Now we're on a tangent because clearly I do things and then I do things, you know? Okay, what did we do here? This is probably my fault. I wrote this code. That's probably the problem. This looks like the problem. Yeah, I see. I see. The IP pool ID can't be used here because when we do a detach, oops, I need to revisit this on Monday. I'm going to have to file a bug for this. Yeah, because then if we're doing a detach, we're going to range over them. We're going to pull out the ID, pull out the type, check. Yeah, we're going to call detach, and the params will be, for an ephemeral, just detach it. For floating, we say detach it based on its ID, but the ID is an IP. Damn it, man. This is my fault. Yeah, this is supposed to be the ID of the IP pool. Yeah, this is fine because ID is going to hold the ID of the IP pool in the ephemeral case, but in the floating case, it's going to be the floating IP ID. So technically, we have to just do, we can just fix it by calling this. That should be fine. Correct? Is there anything else I have to do for this? No. Yeah, this should be fine. Yeah. Make install. Don't do anything. now I'm gonna use a dev provider for this. See? The shame. The shame. How did you even get rules? Oh, right. I can't use the dev provider because we didn't deploy an API change. We're in the middle of like changing the way VPC firewall rules work. And I made the change. Hold up. I forgot about that. 1 second. Yeah, this is still using the old API. Son of a. Okay, I should probably not even do the testing on this instance right now because I'm gonna like, or I can just go back. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go back to Terraform. I can go right back before this and I can branch off of, ooh, yeah, 0, 0. Okay. Rebase our current thing to 0, 0. Make install. That should be 013 still. Yeah, perfect. Okay. That should work. All right. That looks better because now it's using the actual floating IP ID and it's going to try to detach that. Okay, so I'll fix that bug. And I actually don't even need to. Yeah, I do want to do that. Yeah, let's just apply that real quick. And I'll submit a draft pull request real quick. Hey, Papa. Damn, man. This is see, when you use the things you work on, you find shit that's broken. And you have to fix the shit that you find that's broken. Use floating IP ID instead of IP pool ID. Update oxide. Okay, I know it's a little wordy, but it's, make the little change. Yeah, that I'll make that as a draft. And then I'll just note like found, I'll keep this for Monday. Found this while testing some Kubernetes deployments. Perfect. Cool. And I get my email that I have made a pull request. Okay, where was I? Sorry, little tangents. So great. So now I have the external IPs that I need. So I can actually apply Talos to these things. However, in an ideal world, I would. It doesn't matter, right? I guess I could pick one at random. No, yeah, okay. I'll do that manually. I guess since they all have no. Let's just attach the floating IP again. I think that'd be a better story. Okay. Cool. All right. So technically now we have what? We have the control plane YAML, we have the worker YAML, and we need to apply said control plane YAML. So how did I do that? It's Talos apply config insecure, passing it each node and the file. Okay. Talos CTL apply config insecure. Nodes. And I guess I'll do it on the CPO1 for now. That'll be my like master control plane node, I guess, in a way. So we'll do that. File control plane. Cool. Now, if I look at the serial console here, you should be moving because I just applied some config. Yes. Awesome. Let's do the same thing to the other nodes. So Terraform output. We can do it to 252.191 and 252.192. And now their control plane nodes should all be making a cluster, making a Kubernetes cluster, I think. Cool. Yeah, that's looking better. Oh, I need to bootstrap one of the nodes. Duh. So in addition to just doing that, I also need to bootstrap one node as like the one that's going to initialize etcd and do all the cool stuff. So that is just Talos CTL bootstrap. And what is it? Nodes, endpoints, Talos config. Nodes would be 190 because I'm doing that master node. Endpoints are where Talos has to communicate over gRPC, and Talos config will be the local file. Right. This is the problem that I was talking about before. All of my, when I generated the control plane YAML, no, sorry, not this. When I generated the Talos config, no. Okay, I get it. When this instance, let me go to CPO1 and look at its serial console right quick, because when this instance came up and I like started Talos against it, it uses the internal IP as its IP to listen on for gRPC stuff. However, I'm connecting over the external IP instead. So I'm not using the NIC IP down here that Talos is expecting. I'm using this external IP. Do I need a? I don't yet know how to tell Talos like, hey, bro, listen on both this and this, or at least when you generate the certificates, use them as additional SANs. I think it was up here somewhere, and I totally just missed it. Is that why when I did it over here? That's what I did. That's why this works. I passed it as cert SANs. I guess I could have done that and saved myself some headache. Son of a. All right, we go again. We destroy and go again. Terraform destroy. Actually, we don't need to destroy everything now. Yeah, we do. We need to destroy the disks and everything. Kill it all. Damn, that's rough. This is why I want to figure out the architecture better, because ideally the Kubernetes nodes would all be using the internal VPC private address, and the only time an external address would be even in the picture, let me apply this, would be when, yes, when we want to expose the Kubernetes API, so that's the one floating IP we want to attach, and when we want a service type load balancer, which is the controller I'm working on in the Cloud Controller Manager. Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of talking to myself. I know. I'm sorry. This is kind of, if you just like watched me, like my dog, he like watches me work. You know, he's like sitting there, like looking at me sometimes. He's probably like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, who are you talking to? I'm talking to me. All right. So now we do Talos gen config. We did that. And then we can go into the control plane. Give me this guy right here. And for cert sands, we can do these guys. Yeah. So we'll do this. I'll just put them in order because I guess that's fine. Talk to me. Are you still 190? Oh, you're 191 now. That's fine. I'll keep it in that order just to make sure. So the main master is this guy. So that'll be fine. And then I'll do the same thing for worker. Technically, these should be, this, the problem here too is I should be using like actual DNS names for these things instead of relying on the fact that like the IP address matches up. But, you know, that's a next week problem. My dog clearly tells herself the same thing when I work. Yeah. Yeah. My dog's sitting here. He's like, bro. He's like, why are you talking to yourself? I think that should be fine because now I can do apply config. Yeah, I can apply config on all of these. So I'll do 191 again. 190, 192. Okay, now the control plane's fine. I'm not going to touch the workers yet because clearly I can't be trusted to do anything else. Let me reattach this floating IP because that's going to be our API. Okay. Now, if I do a bootstrap on node 191, now you should work. Dope. Okay. And if I look at this serial console, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Cool. Now I did bootstrap. etcd is doing its thing. And eventually all the static manifests will be applied and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Much, much better. And that should be all I need to do. So technically, if I do Talos CTL kubeconfig, endpoints, I can give it all the control plane endpoints. So 191. I'll just copy this, make my life easier. And 192. Is that? I actually forget the difference between endpoints and nodes. I think endpoints are the gRPC endpoints we can use to talk to Talos. Nodes are the nodes you want to affect. So I think I'll just do 191 here. Yeah, and then kubeconfig. Right. This looks good. So technically, if I use this kubeconfig, I should see stuff. Amazing. Okay. Now we're cooking. And we're waiting for these guys to be ready. assuming I did everything correctly, which is quite possible that I didn't do everything correctly. No, that looks good. That looks good. That means the CNI is coming in. Yep, dope. All right, we're looking good. And then if we look at node 2, you're chilling. Yep, you're now getting told that your static pods needs to be running. Awesome. Amazing. All right, so we have a control plane. And we know the Kube API is serving correctly. So let's do pods, all namespaces. Who's emailing me right now? My tax has been paid. Yay. Thank you. Cool. So we know we're communicating over the floating IP. Amazing. All right. So that's the control plane. Let's do workers now. Are these like unschedulable too? Because I didn't like remove anything. So let me just double check this. Nodes. Describe this guy. You should have a taint, right? Yeah. Okay. So you're truly a control plane node. You should also have a exclude from external load balancers. Correct. Yep. We should have this too. Great. Man, Kubernetes is like so fun, but also so frustrating because there's like so much shit you need to know to like do it and use it. And then even as you know shit, there's still more shit. You know, there's always things to learn about Kubernetes. It's crazy. All right, but I have a control plane up. Let us do worker. So worker should be much of the same. It should be apply config. But this time it'll be worker, or actually I'll do this output. So apply config to nodes 172.21.252.132 and used worker. Dope. And then do the same thing for 133 and 189. All right, now workers are coming. And I don't think I have to bootstrap the workers. I think they'll just know how to do things. I don't remember how Talos kind of handles that, but let's see. Yeah, it's running kubelet. It looks like it's there. kubectl get nodes. Okay. They're in. I don't know if I expect the role to be worker or none. I actually don't know. Dope. This looks good. And these are schedulable. And oh yeah, we're using flannel, but that's okay. We like flannel, I guess. Yeah. I guess I wouldn't expect this to be a role. No, I wouldn't expect that to have a role, right? I don't remember. Cool. Let's try to deploy something. We'll deploy my website from a old commit. And that should be fine. And technically, this should be running. Pods. And you should be running on the worker nodes. Amazing. Perfect. Okay. So this is kind of the general architecture I'm looking at for moving my home lab stuff. I'll do 3 control plane nodes to keep quorum, and I'll do maybe like 3 worker nodes to handle the load. And they probably don't need to be like this beefy. What did I do? 416, 416. Everything's 416. Okay. I don't hate it. That's enough juice. I'll probably up the worker nodes a little bit to handle some stuff that I'll put on it. But this feels right. All I have to do is figure out now the networking side, not the CNI, like the Talos stuff. I guess I can use like a jump host would probably be the best. I wish there was a way to like I don't know much about Talos's like stuff. Get health config gen get. Let's do health. Endpoints. I'm typing this off the top of my head. Nodes. Two 252.191. What does this say? What does this do? Is that even the right IP address? I don't even know. Oh, it's 2.1, not 2.5. Okay. 2.1. I knew it was like a 2. Okay, so this is Kubernetes health. But how can I like, how do I know in Talos? Is it machine? Maybe it's a machine config. Reboot, read, reset, start, rollback, service, shutdown. I want to know like how does Talos like what IPs is it listening on? Or like what like I guess the cert that I generated, I'd have to can I replace that cert? I guess I can, right? Rotate CA, is this the way? Machine config pad. Okay, no, that I don't need to do this. I need to spend more time with understanding Talos. Get. Ah, okay. So this is how to get. What can I get here? Help. I thought there was a way to like. No. Anyway, that's fine. That one I don't care so much about, I guess, right now. What does rotate CA actually do? You still need to be able to talk to it though. So this can rotate the Talos cert, which is what I care about, and the Kubernetes like API cert. So if I just wanted to rotate one, I guess I have to Talos docs. I have to better understand. I need to read through some of the deployment guides for Talos. Is there like a production like why is it so tiny, this sidebar? Or like a reference architecture? I guess not. Install bootloader metal. No, virtualize. I don't want to do the install. I want to see like a. Why is this so tiny? There we go. Resetting reference. No, this is like a CLI reference. I need to read this and understand the production clusters. Okay, what is this thing? Reference architecture. That's what I wanted to see. Thank you. It's blinding. It's blinding. Kubernetes reference architecture for Talos Linux. I know TalosCon is coming. I know. I was there when it was written. I don't want to use Omni because I'm not using that right now. Aha. Better. This is what we're looking for. This is the stuff we need. And I'm sorry to blind you with this white background. Okay, we know control plane nodes needs to be HA. We got that. We know worker nodes. We got that. We're using Flannel. We got that. CSI I'm not worried about right now, but I will be using Longhorn until we can build the Oxide CSI, which we're going to be working on soon. Yep. 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 Okay. See, this is not a knock on Talos. I'm definitely not shit talking Talos or anything because I'm friends with people at Talos and all that at Side Arrow. But like in general, when people present Kubernetes cluster diagrams, they never say what things are for. And it bothers me because you have a Kubernetes cluster here, and obviously everyone knows like the control plane and the workers are separate, right? Like control planes handle like the Kube API and etcd and all that crap, and the workers run pods generally. But this load balancer in front, like, what do you mean when you say this? Do you mean this load balancer is strictly for the Kube API? Do you mean this load balancer is going to service type load balancer requests and like send data to a node port? Do you mean that it's going to do that plus having an ingress controller? Like this is where I get a little frustrated when I read the Kubernetes docs. Yep, yep, that's fine. Beyond this, yeah. Yeah, we're not letting workloads go onto the control plane. Yep. All right, let's see what this says here. Use an external load balancer that distributes requests to all healthy control plane nodes for the Kubernetes API server access. Great. That's what I want to do. Obviously, I don't have a load balancer in Oxide today, so I'm faking this with that. I'm faking this with this beautiful floating IP. This is meant to be my load balancer, right? I'm going to air quotes that. So that's fine. Yep, don't use the Talos built-in VIP. Great. Ensure that Kube Prism is up. Oh, this is like an internal load balancer just for the Kube API. I get it. Okay. This makes sense. How do I know if this is enabled? Talos spins up a TCP load balancer on every machine on the local host. How do I know? How do I know that that's even in use today? I don't know. How do I know Kube Prism is here? Is there a pod? What did it say? It configures kubelet, kube schedule, kube controller manager. Okay, so let's see what you're doing here. Okay, I see you use the secrets, so I have to look at this probably. These kube configs is probably where it's going to be, which I guess is coming from secrets. Oh no, it's probably just system secrets, Kubernetes, kube controller manager. So do you have a mount type secret type host path? Oh, okay, so it's literally coming from the host. So I probably can't see that, right? How do I see this path on said host? Can I use Talos config? Talos CTL get. Can I look at files? Read a file on the machine. Look at that. Okay, read. What does this do? Read path. Must be a regular file. Was it kubeconfig at the end? Amazing. Okay. So it is using 127.0.0.17445, which tells me that QPrism might be there? Question mark. Perhaps there's a service for it. This is for the API, but this is just this one. That's the normal Kube API endpoint. Okay, yeah. I don't know about that QPrism thing that they're telling me about in the doc. I don't know how to verify that this is actually running. But I do want to dig into this later. And I probably should just watch this video and see, because maybe this person tells me. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to do the hard thing and like beat my chest at it and be like, I'm just going to do it myself. Anyway. API audiences. Yeah, that's using the DNS. What I gave it. What I actually need to do too is eventually I'll be updating the cloud provider with a custom cloud provider, but that'll be next. Okay. What else did that document say? Networking CNI. By default, we'll use Flannel. Great. Cilium is supported. Great. It's advised against changing the CNI after it's deployed. Yeah, we know. But I'd probably use Cilium instead of Flannel. That's okay. Kubespan, don't care. Storage, don't care. Load balancing. Yes, I'm going to be building a native load, or I'm going to be building the Kubernetes integration for the native load balancing with Oxide. Metal LB doesn't work. We get that. Man, I was really hoping to see more of a diagram. Like this is the only diagram we get. I was really hoping to see more, but that's okay. All right, let me just read through this too. We did this. We prepared the infrastructure. We booted. We have the IP addresses. We did all of this. We have the control plane IPs. Decide your Kubernetes endpoint. Yes. Yep, this is where we faked it with the floating IP. We're not going to put a load balancer in front of. Is that even necessary? Like, I mean, I know once we have an Oxide load balancer, I do want to make the Kube API load balanced. But before we have an Oxide load balancer, I'm just going to floating IP my way around because there's no point in like doing this. That's just going to add so much complexity to spin up like Nginx or HA proxy in front of the control plane nodes. Then when they change, we're going to have to update the thing. And it just feels like a lot. And it has to be an L4 load balancer. Okay, cool. DNS records. Okay, save your endpoint. Yep, we did that. We generated the secrets. We generated machine configs. And we did this essentially. We applied the machine configs. And we did it. Bootstrap, get Kubernetes, verify. Cool. Okay, so that's basically it. I just need to read a little bit more and understand networking in Talos and understand how can I best like this stuff. Actually, I'll just view it. How can I make sure that all of the Kubernetes nodes are using internal IPs to communicate with one another, and Talos can communicate over that internal IP? I guess. If I go back to TL draw for a sec, and I can delete all this sheet. Yeah, I guess what I really want to do, I don't know all the shortcuts for TL draw. Rectangles R. That's what I know now. Oh, maybe I should press R. Yeah. All right. So what I want to do is have. Did I not make multiple of these? Okay, I did. This is gonna be my control plane. So I essentially want this, or I'll put them next to each other. And I'm gonna kind of draw a similar diagram to what we just saw, but it'll make sense. So this will be worker. So we'll do, is there a text? What's the text? T. Worker nodes. Nodes, worker nodes. Control plane nodes. So we'll do this. You come here. And what we're going to do is this will be, oh no, actually I want a big ass rectangle. So this will all be in a VPC. So let's call this like Talos, VPC. And this will be in like the 172.21.2, I don't know, like 172.99.0.0/24. Like this will all be in this IP range. Great. However, I'll have my client, me, all the way out here. So let's call this like Talos CTL. This is going to want to talk to any of these nodes. So this node and this node. And it's going to want to do it on, let's say this address is like dot, 3. We'll just go like this, dot 1, dot 2, and then we'll just do like dot 11 and then dot 12. So it's going to want to communicate on these private nodes because that's what the cert SAN's listening on. However, I will have Oxide like external IPs on these things. So I'll have like, I'll change it. I'll just do like, I'll just make this like 10.10.0.1. So this will have like an external IP. Or actually, no, I don't want external IPs here. So this will be like the kind of thing. However, I can't reach across this boundary because I'm not in the VPC. Do I create a separate float? Because right now I have a single floating IP. I have like this 10.0.0.1, 6443, and this is cube API. So I have this guy here, and it's pointing, it's like, it's here. It's like on this guy. And if this node goes down, I'll like move the floating IP like where it needs to go. Not automatically, obviously, because I don't have that set up, but I will move it. But Talos needs to communicate on port 5000 and 5001, or 50,000 and 50,001, right? Is that where it was? Talos API. Yes, 50,000 and 50,001. My question becomes, do I do the same thing? Like, do I do one of these? And do I do like, .99 and then port, 50,000 or something, and make this the Talos API? And do I do a floating IP? That way, Talos would no longer go to the nodes directly. It would go to the node with the floating IP as an endpoint to then also run the command against a node like so. That could work. That could work. And I think that's essentially how it wants me to do it. Because we can do, I don't know, let's do get again. Yeah. So this is, let's assume that this is my floating IP. That's Talos API because I have that attached. And then let's try to go to a different instance. So this is 191 was attached to CPO1. Let's say we want to read a file off of WKO1. And WKO1 does have an external IP, so we could hit it directly, but we don't want to do that. We want to hit its private IP. So I think the way to do this is use the endpoint as like a broker and go in like this. Let's do read. And let's do like etc OS release or something. Yes. Okay. That works beautifully. Host name, hosts. Yes. And then if I wanted to change, so now I'm using that endpoint as, okay, I understand this more. This is making more sense to me. If I want to do worker 02, this is what, 07? So if I change this to 07, I can still hit it through that node, like a proxy. So gRPC is happening from my Talos config, or sorry, from my Talos CTL to that 172.191 address. Then from there, it's saying, hey, actually go talk to this 172.30.07 address to do the actual command. Perfect. Okay, I like that. My question becomes, though, is that in my production Kubernetes cluster, is that yet another floating IP that just goes to any node in the Kubernetes cluster? So that way I can have Talos access, or do I spin up a bastion? And I think the answer is I spin up a bastion. System requirements. Talos Linux guides, how to config. Is there like endpoints? Endpoints. Endpoints and nodes. Oh, perfect. This might be it. Talos CTL. Yep, I can watch your video, but I'm not going to do that right now. Not that I don't like you. Yep. Endpoints and nodes. Talos CTL endpoints nodes. Endpoints are the communication endpoints to which a client directly talks. Yep. This can be load balancers, DNS names, a list of IPs. If multiple endpoints are specified, the client will automatically balance. Oh, okay. Each endpoint. Endpoints do, however, need to be members of the same Talos cluster as a target node. By cluster, what do you mean here? The same Kubernetes cluster, or can I have like a separate Talos endpoint cluster that manages? Yeah, that's what I need to do. This is what I'm going to ask Justin. Justin, if you end up watching this, I need you to answer my questions. The node is the target node on which you wish to perform the API call. Yes. Yeah. While you can configure the target node inside the Talos configuration file, it's not recommended to do so. I have questions. Justin. When you say it needs to be part of the same Talos cluster, ¿qué es esto? What does that mean? Okay, cool. All right, so I think I'm pretty ready to. I'm looking at my home lab over there. I'm pretty ready to move my home lab over then, because what else would I need? I spin up this Kubernetes cluster. It's running separated control plane, separated worker plane, and let me go back here. Set this one. This is actually my home lab one. What do I need to do? What do I have running here? Yeah, I'm using Longhorn at home. I'm using Metal LB, which won't exist in Oxide because this will be replaced with a floating IP for ingress. So we'll do Oxide public IP pointing to the Kubernetes nodes running the ingress controller, and then the ingress controller will like point to the services that are being run. Okay, so I need cert manager still. I need Nginx ingress controller still, which is somewhere here. I need Longhorn because I don't have a storage device. I don't need Pi-hole because I'm not even going to run that on Oxide. Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Theo? Come here. Come here. You're so good. You're so good. Yeah, that works. And then once I get this off of my home lab, I can sell some more shit. I have shit to sell. If you're interested in a computer, I am gonna sell. I'm selling some of my stuff. I put it up here. Go to my website /gear. I am selling my workstation, and I'm selling one of my Framework 16 laptops. I'm trying to consolidate a little bit. So if you're interested, let me know. What else did I want to do today? Because I did find that bug. That's there. Fine. I got the Kubernetes thing stood up. I have a better handle of what I want to do to move my home lab to Oxide. The last thing I'll do is I need to figure out. I don't need that anymore. I need to figure out Cloud Controller Manager. Yeah, okay. I have the skeleton here. I need to fill this out. You okay? Yeah, he's good. I need to fill this out. So one of the projects that I'm working on at Oxide currently is, I can leave that up, is a Kubernetes CCM, which is a cloud controller manager. And this can be bright because I don't think Kubernetes has a dark mode, right? Yeah, sorry. One of the things that we're missing in Oxide is what's called a cloud controller manager, or CCM. And what it does is I don't think people even know this, because like most people probably use managed Kubernetes or something, and they don't even like know that there's things running here that do these things. But basically, when you spin up like managed AWS Kubernetes, they run what's called like a cloud provider, but that's kind of been renamed to a cloud controller manager, and it just runs a bunch of like cloud specific controllers. So when you do like create service of type load balancer, there's a controller running in that cloud provider's cloud controller manager that like reconciles that and says, oh, you want load balancer, I'll spin up AWS load balancer. And we have to make one of those for Oxide because there is no such cloud controller manager for Oxide. So that is this project that I have here. And it's basically implementing this beautiful interface that they give you. So you see this, there's this interface that you implement here. And you basically give it a way to manage load balancers, you give it a way to manage instances, and you give it a way to manage routes. But we're not going to be doing the route one because we're going to do like a third-party CNI. So I need to figure out like what these methods are meant to do and just fill them out and deploy this into my cluster. That'll be like my next project. And I'm going to stream some of this thing too. I'm obviously not going to do it tonight at Friday, but I think I'm going to stream some of this stuff because it's going to be open source. I mean, the repo is private now, but I'm in control of it. I'm going to make it public. That's the whole point. So I'm not worried about that. But yeah, I need to do this. Cool. There's so much shit to do. Anyway, oh wait, I think I have really bad Twitch settings. So if you're trying to chat with me on Twitch, my settings there kind of suck because, you know, I don't like the spam bots. So let me fix that. Where is that? I think it's like chat verification. I think it's this off. Okay. Now people should be able to chat. I hope. Yeah. Cool. Just making sure, because I know I turned it up one time because there was someone that was like spamming, I didn't really want to deal with it, and I totally forgot all about it. Sweet. All right, what else did I want to do tonight? I wanted to do the Kubernetes thing, get that sort of diagrammed out so that unblocks me. I don't want to write any more code today and do this stuff, but I'll leave myself some comments. Actually, I need to leave some comments up here. This needs to... Oxide client. Instances. Struct. Okay, this needs like these couple things in there. Initialize. What are you actually responsible for? What do you do? Oh, we do Kubernetes client. And I don't think we need to do any sort of cloud provider things. Okay. All right, so we'll do that. And then instances, you're an actual easy interface if I remember correctly, right? Oh, sorry, not this one. Instances view 2. You're kind of an easy interface because your instance exists, instance shutdown, and metadata. Cool. So I should be able to actually do that early next week and get this done. Okay. Yeah, that leaves me a good spot for next week. And I want to stream that. It's just that streaming during work hours gets a little hectic because sometimes the schedule is a little off, but that's fine. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's destroy all this stuff because I think we got it pretty well. Home lab. Well, at least I found a bug today. That's kind of nice. Get a little bug action going. One thing we do have, which is nice, that we built, and one of our customers kind of like gave us the initial implementation of it, was a rancher integration. What did I do this? I think I just did, yeah. We have like a nice little rancher integration where we can like spin up rancher clusters straight on Oxide, which is amazing. Cluster management. Yeah, you're ready. Like, so this is pretty cool. So if I like go in here and like I like scale this up by 1, now it's saying like 3 of 4. So now it's going to reconcile. And you'll notice that like in a second, these instances will go from 3 to 4. So like we have this nice integration built with Oxide in Rancher, which is really nice. I don't know how long it takes to reconcile this though. It'll probably be, unless I like broke something. Oh no, yeah, it's good. Cool. So these are some of the things that we've been building at Oxide, and like a Packer plugin and like some other stuff. Like there's just so much stuff that we have to build. And I've been very deep in the Kubernetes space lately. So I'm trying to like ship some stuff. Like I'm supposed to be working on Kubernetes projects, but I've been like working on Terraform bugs and stuff that's been sidetracking me. But hopefully this upcoming week and then week after that, I get to work on some more of the Kubernetes things and get something shipped before I go on vacation. Perfect. That's all done. That's destroyed. And we're in a good spot. And I do want to remove the home lab out because it is getting a little annoying to deal with it. That 520 that Ian got before, I don't know what's causing it, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, this like, where is it? Network. this should all be served from cache. I mean, we're doing. Yeah, like all of this shit should be basically like cached. That's weird. I don't know. I don't know why some people are getting 520 errors. Also, like Cloudflare 520 error. Is it 520 or 502? I don't remember which. Yeah, like why would our origin the origin No, that makes no sense. Hold up. I'm actually gonna look at this for a second because that bothers me. Because my origin server, I'm opening a tab that you can't see right now. I'm sorry. My origin let me just double check that I have this shit right in my networking setup. Internet. Okay, port forwarding. Where did Unify move the port forwarding stuff to? Why am I missing this? Oh, it's in policy engine now. Whatever that is. Yeah, this looks good. So that's so weird. Interesting. Do I have a problem here? Or did I block this? Maybe the problem is me when I got my new networking equipment. Hold up. Oh, wait. Sorry, that's wrong. Okay, metal LB. You're fine. Service. Yeah. All right, so the way I've been doing this was I was using Metal LB to create a service on this network. So yeah, that's serving. That's serving. Header. What is it? Host Dev or something like that. That's serving for sure. So what the heck? Why would that be blocked? Why would that not be working? That's weird. But I don't want to show you my home networking settings, obviously, because I have like a basically this the setup that I'm running is I have Kubernetes running right there in this Turing Pi. I port forward from my WAN IP to this service here, this external Nginx controller service, and that's running on the IP 10.0.10.50, and my WAN port forwards to that, port 80 and 443, and then Cloudflare sits in front of my WAN IP doing its proxy stuff. And every now and then people complain to me that, hey, Matt, I'm getting a 520 when I go to your website. And I don't understand why. Because this service, this Nginx ingress controller here, is like it hasn't been down. You know what I mean? Like, and the service, or maybe they're getting it through a deployment. Am I messing this up? Let me look at the website pods. Website. Yeah, this was 3 hours ago, which is well before people were complaining about the 520s. And this is running. I'm unsure of why this would be a problem. What is it, ingress? I mean, ingress, like, it's pretty standard, right? Matthew Sanabria pointing to this service on this port. Yeah, this is all good. And the cert, cert. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, this has been renewing. I'm unsure of why people are getting 520s, but the goal for me is to get this, because my website runs literally right there, and I can like show you 10 I think. It's running on this Turing Pi. There's 4 nodes connected. These are the 4 nodes that match up with the Kubernetes cluster, right? So these, KW9 N9H P6, right? KW9, whatever. So these Turing Pi nodes are running, and this has been pretty solid. Like this hasn't had a network blip or anything. SSH root, I think. Yeah, 4 days ago, I know it was down because we had a bad storm or whatever, and I moved it. Or no, yeah, it had a bad storm, power blipped or whatever, and my DHP reservations were like messed up. But it's been good. Hold on, I want to see something. Node 1. Does it get? Yeah, none of these have been down, it looks like, either. What are you talking to? That is the gateway. That's weird. Okay. What are you doing? Well, you have a lot of errors. But this could have been from a long time ago. Yeah, I don't know what this is, like time since boot rather than a timestamp. So I don't know how long ago this really was. Maybe there is a problem that I'm unaware of on the network. I'll have to further look into this. I also changed networking gear out from under my Kubernetes cluster. I run a bunch of unified gear at home, and the gateway died. So I replaced the gateway and I replaced the switch. And I did enable IPv6. Is that why you're mad at me? I should just put some monitoring up and see, like, what isn't there like a uptime thing? Is Uptime Robot what everyone uses still for like basic uptime monitoring for your website? What are the ones that you all like use today, if you use anything for your monitoring? I think I have an account here, right? Do I have an account here? I don't think I do. Let me open up in another tab over here. Last I remember, Uptime Robot was like the one that people used. I don't have an account. I might have deleted my account. Yeah, I think I deleted my account. But if there's anyone, let's ask Claude. Let's see what Claude says. What's up? Look at all of the stuff I've asked Claude. Look at this. Best lens, best thing, whatever. So good. What's up? What's the best time monitoring site to monitor my blog site? Talk to me, Claude. Claude. Uptime Robot, Pingdom, Status Cake. I think I've heard of Status Cake before. All right, let's do Uptime Robot real quick. I'm going to set that up because I want to try to catch where this is happening. Uptime Robot. Create account. Register for free. Password. What is this password, you ask? How did you find out about it? Why does that matter? Recommended by friend. Friend is you, chat. You are the friend. All right. Obviously, I have to open my email. Damn. What the hell? I closed my email for like 5 minutes. Where the hell did I get all this email from? What the frick, man? That's crazy. Okay, here we go. HTTP keyword ping port. Let's do HTTP monitoring. Create monitor. Uptime Robot, your email. Thank you. Send test. Great. Thank you. Create a status page. Sure. Let's create a status page. See all features. 5-minute monitoring intervals. HTTP. This is enough for me. Ooh, location specific would be cool. Can I do like a free trial, man? And SSL monitor would be cool, actually. $7 a month. I feel like when you compare pricing of services, like it doesn't make sense sometimes, you know? Like $7 a month seems to be a lot for this, but then you have like Obsidian that's like $9 a month for sync or something. And it's like, that seems to be a lot. It's very weird how when you compare them across each other, how they kind of look. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this running. I don't really care about alerts. That's a high response time though, but that's probably uncached serve. I'm gonna leave this running. Can I do like a trial, bro? Let me get a trial, dude. I just want this one. No, I can't. Everything paid. Okay. I'm gonna leave this running, see if I can catch any of those sort of 520s a little bit better. I don't really have the best observability on my home lab. But I would like to see if this catches any of them. That'd be really cool. And I think Uptime Robot is the way to go. Damn, they've really changed since I've used this. Hey, look at that. I'm official. Put this on my website. It's so weird using these tools when you don't like pay for them, because I'm used to like the paid versions of these tools. And when you're trying to do it on the cheap, I'm not really used to all the features, but cool. All right. So I'm gonna let that run. I'm good with the Kubernetes stuff. I think, oh yeah, it's pretty late. I think I'll call it here. Thank you all. Let me go back to this guy. Thank you all really for tuning in. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to stream more programming stuff as I work on some of these things. As I said, streaming during work hours is fine. It's just my schedule is a little hectic or ad hoc sometimes. You know, there's things where like I get pulled into calls a little last minute, or I'm like meeting with people, so I don't always have like the block of time to stream. Although the mornings might be the best time for me to do that, because mornings Eastern time, because most of my colleagues are on the West Coast. So maybe I can carve out some morning coding sessions to do some streams, because I do want to do more of this stuff, and I also want to show you all more of Oxide, and like, so you can see, you know, what's happening with Oxide, what we're doing, and like see kind of behind the scenes a little bit more, because I know not everyone has access to play with Oxide hardware and like see how it works and whatnot. So I'm hoping some of these streams can like showcase that too, and really get the word out a little bit better. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be around. I'll be working on some stuff, but you have my, you know where my website is. Reach out, look out for streams. And if you have things that you want me to kind of cover with streams, also let me know. I do plan on doing, I don't know if this is going to be a stream or a series of like YouTube videos that I record. Don't know yet, but I want to do, oh yeah, I should show you that. I want to do streaming. I want to go over roadmap.sh. I get a ton of like email or questions or messages or LinkedIn messages or whatever it is. I get a ton of repeated questions, and I want to kind of answer them all in like a video or a blog post form, so I can kind of answer them once and for all. But a lot of people ask me like, what skills do I need to like do this, to do a role or to do this or whatever. So I want to either pick like the DevOps or the backend roadmap, and like periodically release like a, you know, hour or two long video, like walking through some of these and showing you like, what is a backend developer do, and what is the internet, and how does it work, and then what does Go look like, or what does Rust look like, and then what is a version control, and like kind of just walk through these topics and just show you like, here's what I know about these topics, here's what I think you should know about these topics, and just kind of give you some information about it. So I will be figuring out what to do there. And I don't want to make a course. I'm so freaking over the courses that everyone makes, because then you have to pay all this money for it. And I think people should be paid for it, like teachers and everything. You should be paid. I was a teacher, but like, I don't know. I don't want to make a course, man. I just want, knowledge should be more free, in my opinion. So I'm going to try to do that. So we'll see. Keep an eye out though. I'll either do the backend developer or the DevOps roadmap, or both. I don't know which one I'll start with, but I really want to show this to people and go from there. Anyway, sorry, I detracted a little bit there, but seriously, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you all when I stream next, and have a great, fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.